Melting sharp do 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 do. Melting sharp do 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 do. Melting sharp do 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 do. Ah. Hello, 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 hello. Greetings. Bonjour. Bienvenue. Willkommen. Hola. Ciao. Howdy. G'day. Hope everyone is well and had a good week. Evening Sky Dancer and Dennis Bigfoot Fish Tanks. Time to melt. 67 going to 82. I wish. I wish it was that cold here. It did cool down in the middle of the week. Evening Keith. You think cool thoughts, it helps. Yeah. So yes, to cut things quick, this Monday and Tuesday were the hottest on record in the UK. And despite what they were saying, because they were saying it was 40.3, yeah, it was 42 here, which in American is about 108 degrees, which for the UK is about twice what it should be, really, let's be honest. And Austin's here, good evening. So yes, we've been having fun in the UK with airport runways melting, main roads buckling and crumbling and disintegrating, wildfires. If you watch my history type videos, the church at Ash Hill I visited not long ago, well, Ash Hill village basically burnt down. 22 houses destroyed in what was an accidental wildfire, basically. Started in a field and then just took out half the village. I shouldn't laugh, it's pretty tragic, and there's a lot of people now without homes. 22 families, actually, minimum. But yes, that's what's been going on in the UK this week. But yes, so Tuesday was 42. Wednesday went down to about 30, and then Thursday and Friday were down in the low 20s, and today we're back up into the 30s again. So rather warm. I've had enough of it. Yes, and Dennis has AC. Yeah, nah. Title reminds me of Glass Animals. Well, it is a record heat wave. It's hottest temperatures on record for the UK. Set up a box fan in the window at one end of the house and draw air through. No. Best thing to do is keep the doors and the windows shut during the day. Keep the blinds, curtains, drapes, whatever you got, keep them shut as well. Keep the bloody hot air out. Our houses are well insulated, so they keep the heat out or in, depending on which time of year it is. If you open things up, then it just warms up inside. Patty, my dear, doing the stream crawl. Oh dear, is that like a pub crawl? Are you having a drink in each stream? Most of Europe being invaded by fish species from the Red Sea. Yes. The temperatures go up and the fish migrate. Yeah, keep it dark. Just keep outside out and inside in. And then when the outside temperature drops below the inside temperature, then open things up. So if you're like me, that means you sleep downstairs at night with the doors and windows open. And Gina, my dear, how are you? And Brennan, Misfit, how are you? I won't call you my dear because, more like a puff crawl. Well, puff away, Patty, puff away. And Holly's here as well, the freaky fish lady. Howdy, freaks. Yes, I'm a freak. Super freak. Yes. Super freaky. No, let's get away from that. It's the heat. It does weird things to my mind. So what have we been up to this week? Work. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of getting used to it now, so it's not too bad. The main issue is just the being on my feet for hours on end. Vent the roof. Yeah, I've got the loft hatch open, so or the attic hatch. Um, so yeah, hot air rises. So if you can send it all up, yeah, it does even better. I literally, it's 5 degrees cooler UK, so what, nearly 10. Well, it's 5 degrees. Yeah, about 10 degrees cooler downstairs than it is upstairs, which is about 10 degrees cooler than the loft. So yeah, puff puff pass. Hell no. Puff 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 puff. Stub out. Roll new one. In these post-COVID times, we don't do puff puff pass anymore. And Laurie's here as well, Monster Fish Girl. Blooming heck. I am honoured. I've got all the special people turning up tonight. Oh dear, what have I done to deserve this? Is it because I sold a bunch of fish and snails today? It's only bristle noses and ram's horns, but hey, pays the bills. Well, pays the food bill anyway. Yeah. Yes, we sold 80 bristle noses and 40 snails today. And this week we've had 150 super red bristle noses hatch. And we've got another spawn of common bristlies in there. Yeah, we're screwed. Because the reason the tank light is on in that little tanky there, that 15 litre or 4-gallon tank is now home to 150 bristle noses. Well, actually, there's less because there was an issue with this spawn, and for some reason, some of those super reds didn't actually eat. So we lost quite a few, but there's probably at least 100 bristle noses in a 4-gallon tank that's completely uncycled. So, we'll see what happens. It's all good so far, anyway. Oh, God. And then I had my first flood as well this week. Literally today, this evening, just before I started the stream. So Mary was visiting. I went out in the back garden to cut some latte leaves for Latte Bunny. And as I walked past, I went out and came back in. I thought, why are there what looked like wet footprints on the carpet? I lifted my foot up, and there's another wet footprint, and there's another one. Now I look at the bottom tank down there, and it's about a third empty. I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, what had happened is in my haste to catch bristle noses out there earlier and move stuff about, I'd moved one of the filters up a bit high, and the water was coming out the back of the filter and out of the back of the tank. So, yeah, minor problem. Sorted now, refilled, and filter moved down a bit. I've already forgotten if I said hello to Debbie. Hello, and Danny boy, how are you? Enjoy your hollybobs. Enjoy your nice cool weather over there. If you haven't seen Daniel's latest video, he is currently on his hollybobs in Portugal. It didn't evaporate as soon as it. That's why I'm not worried about mopping it up or drying it up or anything, because it's not going to last long as a flood. Let's be honest, not in this weather. All it's going to do is just increase the humidity for a couple of hours. But yeah, I've done a Dan now basically. So we've hot here, but there's a pool at least. A pool that you're willing to get into. That's the difference. You wouldn't catch me in a swimming pool. Hell, you wouldn't catch me on a beach, because if I was on a beach, I'd roll me back into the sea. Well, Greenpeace would anyway. Save the whales. What else has happened? Yes, work. Sell fishies, breedy fishies. Nothing spectacular has happened fishy-wise. I think Mary is still waiting on hearing. She had her interview Wednesday. She's waiting on hearing back on that one. They had another one to interview, so we shall see. Still fingers crossed for that. I will be busy this week and next week, so I might either miss a stream or I might not do a Monday video. Not this week, the week after, because it's the grand opening of the new store that I'm working at, as it were. So I'm working Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've got Sunday off, and I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Might have to see if I can figure out how to pre-upload videos. I wonder if I could pre-upload a stream, just to me randomly waffling for 2 hours. It rained dust the other day that was so hot the water was evaporating before it hit the ground. Jeez. Oh, this is it. We've not had any rain here for a month or more, I don't think. I can't remember the last day it rained. G'day, Adele. How are you, my dear? Give your kiddie a fuss for me. Easy, can upload it. Oh, yeah, set it as a Premiere. Yes. Yeah, but you know what I'd do? I'd forget what time I'd set it for, and I wouldn't be there for the chat for my own Premiere. Yeah. Not that it's going to be a long video. I don't even think I've got anything recorded for a fishy video on Monday. I might do a dealing with the heat video. That seems to be a fairly popular topic at the moment. Hasn't rained there since June. Yeah, something like that here as well. Cheery. I think we might have had one light shower, but that was it. And so it's that hot and dry. It just disappeared as soon as it hit the ground. We need a proper English summer to happen now, which it probably will, because the kids have just broken up for the summer holiday. And it hasn't rained there for 18 months. Yeah, but it's kind of used to it there. It's yeah. It will come. It has to, basically. I mean, it does mean that the wheat and barley crops are ready early, so they can all be harvested. But anything that's in the ground and still growing, as it were, is going to suffer. Deal hit with blackout curtains, aircon, and ice creams. Yeah, I don't do aircon. I can't really do blackout curtains downstairs, and ice cream not with my teeth. No, that would just be screaming agony. I'd need to let it warm up first before I could eat it. Lots of beach trips. Yeah, all right. Rub it in. You had a storm. Yes. I'm sat here sweaty already. No air turbulence in the Florida area. Rain on top, and the rain is just staying there. Yeah. Yeah. These things do tend to even themselves out usually. So if you have a prolonged dry period, you get a prolonged wet period after it. Normally with plenty of flooding in the UK, especially when everything is as dry as it is and it just runs straight off rather than soaking in. Yeah, the rainforests, yeah, they will be cooler. Well, you're in the shade for a start. And it's just all the animals that are trying to kill you, and the plants. And there's not many places you go where the plants will actively try and kill you. In the meantime, 52 million Olympic-sized swimming pools have been flowing off of Iceland. Yeah, so if we carry on this way, it's just going to be called land. The land of fire, not the land of fire and ice. Yeah. And, you know, in a few years, maybe Greenland will have the right name. Over 100 for a week, good size, no mowing. Yeah. Yeah, I've not cut the grass either because there isn't any grass. And there's some brown dead stuff on the ground in the front garden. Back garden's still not looking too bad. They're starting to look more like a hay meadow at the moment, though. I'm going to have to get out there at some point and de-nettle it. Yeah, so the UK is just not set up to deal with over 100 degrees. Yes, we do have some courgettes now in the back garden. We have our first courgette has started growing. Lots and lots of flowers on the plants. So I can confirm that Pleco poo is a good food for courgettes or zucchini, depending on where you are. So you feed the courgette to the Pleco poops it out, you feed the poop to the courgette. Hey, I think that's what they call a natural cycle, isn't it? Oh, yes. Have you seen a camera, have you? You've seen a camera turned on and you've got to be in the shot. You're like, yeah. No, we can't just have Bertie in the shot. I need to be in the shot as well. I'm so pretty. Look at me. Yes, Ernie, I know. How long will I let my model sit in the sun? Not at all. Otherwise, there would have just been melted plastic mounds of goop. Bright side, my friend is visiting the UK and is showing some very interesting places around London. Dan's leaving a sweaty like. Well, enjoy your dinner, Dan. Dinner, Dan, dinner, Dan, dinner, Dan. And yeah, fist bumps to the little ones. And mwah to Mrs. DKF. Ah, yes, Highgate Cemetery is the one you need to visit if you're in London. Yes, if your friend is still here, Chewy, let them know. If they've not visited Highgate, that's the one to visit. But yeah, we have some really old graveyards and stuff. He has been there. Yes, it's probably the most famous one. But that and the plague pits and all that stuff. People tend to go to all the Tower of London, London Bridge, the Natural History Museum, the Science Museum, the British Museum, all the various other, Buckingham Palace, Houses of Parliament, Big Ben. Also been to the racetrack. Cool. Big Ben, by the way, is just the clock in the tower. Big Ben is the name of the clock, not the building. Actually, I think it's the name of the bell in the tower, not even the clock. It's just the bell, but the whole thing gets called Big Ben. But yeah, it's the Chris. You're not talking about Chris Luke-up, are you? Oh, yeah, he wouldn't remember me from back in the day. Oh no, yeah, he definitely wouldn't. Not from one or two chance encounters at concerts, anyway. But yeah, It's all the places that are off the main tourist track that you want to visit if you're somewhere. Leave for 2 seconds, Daniel starts stripping off. Well, yeah. He's in Portugal, or Portugal, whichever you want to. That bit on the Atlantic that Spain didn't actually want. We'd love to go somewhere with a guy who knows I'm disabled. Yeah, this is it. We all want to do some stuff that we can't. Well, I'm just glad that Dan didn't do this week's video, just sat there in a pair of budgie smugglers. It must have been tempting. I think YouTube might have demonetized that one fairly rapidly. Yeah, don't go wearing budgie smugglers in public. Just don't wear them at all is generally the best idea. I was like, thankfully, that's one of the things with England is it's a safe enough country that you can visit the places off of the tourist trail and not have to worry. We all know there are certain places in the world where you wouldn't. George Michael. Yeah, George Michael is in Highgate, and yes, Thomas Crapper was a London resident. Yeah, that's kind of still up in arms on whether he did invent a flushing toilet or not, or whether it just sounds good. I think the general idea is he did, but it's one of those where the name is too close to it. And it might be, it might be why we call it a crapper is after his name. So the guy that invented the bra, or the brassiere, and Mr. Oscar Titsling. Yes, Mr. Titsling invented the bra, which, according to that, that means I should invent some kind of knife. Balance is severely off and it's affecting the seizures. Yeah, well, I would say get well soon, Chewy, but I know that's not really going to happen. But hopefully you can manage it and do as well as you can. So at least these days, if we are unable to visit places, there are videos in high def and we can see all the cool stuff. Wait for an in-house electric chair because of it. Yep, just don't let any Karens near it. Oh dear. Yes, there was a story I read a few days ago where I think it was at Disneyland, where a Karen basically threw a disabled child out of their wheelchair because her child needed to rest their feet. Then wondered why they got thrown out of the park and arrested. Yes. Thankfully, no Karens yet at work, but as soon as there is one, I will report. And no, I won't be doing a video of where I work because legal reasons. Yeah, we don't want any legal rubbish going on. Yeah, but hey, Let's see if we can keep this job more than a year, shall we? That'd be a good way to start. At least get the bank balance back to a sensible level. Back to a level that isn't, oh crap. How am I going to pay the bills this month? So yes, right, where else were we? What videos did I upload this week? It was the Pelvicochromis subocellatus species profile, which went down like a lead balloon. Probably because typical, when you want to do a species profile and something, they will hide at the back of the tank. And then it was the unexpected paranormal encounter video on Friday. That seems to have gone down okay. Almost tempted to go for a wander back along there again, just to see how much it's changed for the from the heat wave. Just see how dead and dry everything is down there. Bearing in mind it's a water meadow as well, so it should be fairly wet. But oh, we will be chasing tails for a few years, Debbie. Yes, given the way that the incumbent and the incoming prime ministers have been. I wouldn't trust any of them to wipe my own arse. No, they couldn't find their own arse in the dark without the aid of a flashlight, a map, a compass, and a guide. Basically, yeah. Yes. Here, look, we're going to give you some money, and we're going to take twice as much out of this end. Yeah. Usually we grumble about our politics and then look over at America and see how bad their politics are, and we feel kind of better about things of late. When you start looking at German politics as a stand-up kind of society, yeah, you're thinking, yeah, this isn't right. When even the French are looking at us and going, oh God, no. You know, something's gone badly wrong. Go away, Windows security. Literally, I don't care. Yeah, not this time, no. But I'm wondering, what is the record amount of prime ministers we've had in that we've not voted for? This is going to be 2. I get one where one has to stand down halfway through a term, but 2? There's Theresa May's quit. Boris Johnson took over, and Boris Johnson has quit with the world's worst Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Yes, the end of Boris's resignation speech. He tried saying "hasta la vista, baby," but he said it in his own accent and got the timing wrong. That kind of explains it. When you can't even do "hasta la vista, baby." That was bad, right? But that was far better than Boris's. And yeah, I've got the hair down just to try and get a bit of airflow and dry it out a bit. I don't think it's dried out since I washed it this morning. Just sweaty. Hopefully, when you get moved, Chewy, that the new place is more suited to your current requirements. Let's put it that way, shall we? Let's be at least remotely politically correct about these things. Yeah, so UK politics. Yeah, I think they've been learning from the Americans. Next thing, Boris will be falling off his bike. Not that I wouldn't laugh much. Yeah, so what else has been going on in the world? Fishy sales, fishy breedy we done. Yeah, so the one tank I was worried about in the absurd heat we had at the start of the week was the outdoor shrimp tub. Because Neo Caridina don't like it hot at the best of times. And being outside in 108 degrees in a black tub, I was rather worried. I have to admit. But I threw a couple of algae wafers in there, and I have seen at least a couple of shrimp. So at least they didn't all die. There's still some shrimpies in there. And it's starting to go green again, which tells me there's nitrates in the water, which means something's alive in there. In the hospital, I was racing around in a normal wheelchair for a few weeks. Just need to get off the mountains to more flat land. Yeah, that will help. That'll be a massive help. Hills and wheelchairs do not go well together. I mean, I've got virtually no experience in wheelchairs, but hills and bicycles are a bad enough combination. That's why places like Holland, the Netherlands, there's a lot of cycling happens because this is very flat. Same around here, Norfolk and the Fens, very flat, so lots of cycling. Because you don't have to go up very steep hills, and you don't have to come down them either. Let's face it, going up them is bloody hard work. Coming down them is really easy, but is when you're likely to fall off at high speed and have a nasty accident. If you're a sensible cyclist, that is, and you don't wear a helmet or elbow or knee pads or any of that stuff, you just wear a baseball cap and a rucksack. I've never worn a bicycle helmet on a street, and I'm not going to start. There was talk about bringing it in as law, but thankfully, I think that only applies to under 18s. If you're an adult, you can make your own decision on that. Yeah. I've been on two wheels all my life. I kind of know how to stay upright on them, and how far to look ahead for idiot car drivers that pull out in front of you or just don't see you. Yes, I had one of them the other day on my way to work, barreling along quite happily. Weren't going that fast, maybe 20, 25 mile an hour. And then someone pulled out of a junction pretty much 20 yards in front of me. Oh, yes. Hit the brakes, go around the back of the car and swear on my way past. They obviously thought I was doing about 5 mile an hour. Or didn't see me. Yeah, although you'd think bloody day. That's the point. I'm going to have to get some more bike lights for when it starts getting dark. Oh well. Especially I might have to be starting early some days. Yes. I might have to be in at 6:30 some days. Yeah. Can you imagine what this is like at 6:30 in the morning? I will just literally just be capable of grumbling and swearing, and that's about it. It'll be followed by a stream of swear words until the caffeine levels come back up to a normal amount. Yeah, that's the leave Sharpe alone time of day. Only other thing I have had due to the heat, and I'm not sure whether it's the heat that's caused it, but we do have some bacterial blooms in a few tanks going on. So have they got warm enough to kill off some bacteria? I don't know. Or the oxygen levels dropped enough that it killed the bacteria. I'll come back to growling. Yeah, that's just the kind of noises I'll be making if I had to start work at 6:30 in the morning. I'm not capable of speech at that time of day. There'll be yawning and grumbling and growling and Wookie noises. I can get out of bed and get up at that time. That's not a problem, Scott. I can be up and about. That's fine. My body will wake me up. My body will be awake. My brain, no. That'll be in grumbly, groany. Don't want to be here doing this kind of vibe. But thankfully, if my experience of working at Sainsbury's when I had to do some earlies there, I'd say earlies, starting at 7, is the first part of the shift disappears real fast because I'm not awake. Now, when you're fully wide awake and alert, if there's not a lot to do, time drags. When you're half asleep and there's not a lot to do, it doesn't matter. And I've got a funny feeling that the early starts, basically what we're going to be doing is just picking orders anyway, so I'm just wander around the warehouse grumbling to myself, picking things. Literally right up my alley, really. And also, thankfully, there's no young'uns, so the radio is not tuned to some silly station. It's like 80s and 90s classic rock, so that's all good to me. And we have a bit of a sing along with it. Well, yeah, stuff. Music always helps. Yes. Yeah, I'll probably just surface from bed and stick some Nightwish on. Or if my brain can't cope with that at that time of the morning, something a bit simpler that takes less listening to. Something in 4/4. Not something that switches time signatures every 15, 30 seconds. Where were we? Is there anything else? New things I've been watching this week. I found a station, I say a station, a channel that has, I'm guessing, been around quite a while, and probably most of you already know of, but Professor of Rock. Some very interesting videos going deep dives into all the various songs and stuff. Yeah, it seems very good. Informed, informative, knowledgeable, entertaining person to watch. Adam Reader, if the name rings a bell. It's a Chewy. There's that. Sky Watchers. There we go. I knew someone would watch it. It's interesting hearing about the way some of the songs came about, or how some of the bands got together. I did see a very good one on. He had one on Crowded House the other day that I saw, with an interview with Neil Finn. One of my favourite songwriters of all time. Going back from his Split Ends days all the way through to Crowded House in his solo career. I might not be a huge fan of the music. Crowded House is cool. But he's a very good songwriter. And certain Crowded House songs do have a deep emotional connection with me. Yeah, love hearing the stuff we don't know. Yeah, it's entertaining and you're learning at the same time. And I'm always in favour of watching something I can learn from. Don't get me wrong, just pure entertainment is good. I enjoy watching Dark Fluff's Karen videos. You're not learning anything from them, just how dumb and entitled some people can be. But we all need that in our lives. Just basic entertainment, where you just take your brain out and sit there and eat popcorn and what have you. Pardon me. That's what Marvel superhero movies are for. Nothing deep to think about. Whereas, I say I'd rather generally watch something where I can learn something or find out something and understand something I didn't previously, or put two separate pieces of information finally together. I do enjoy doing that a lot because I'm weird. And I enjoy learning about all sorts of random subjects. Doesn't even really have to be a subject I've got a massive interest in. I just enjoy learning. Because then it means you can have conversations with people about all sorts of subjects on a fairly good level. As I mean, I've never worked in a hardware store. I've never been a plumber, a bricklayer, a carpenter, a heating engineer. I've been an electrician, but that was donkeys years ago. But the amount of random stuff that I actually know that is proving useful, even simple things like knowing the difference between a male and a female connector. Apparently some people don't know that kind of thing, and I'm like, huh? What? Then you try and explain why they're called male and female, because one goes into the other one. Yeah, that's pretty simple, I'd have thought, but there you go. I was helping someone choose a pickaxe yesterday, so I don't know which size to go for. He's like, do I want the £3 or do I want the £7 or do I want the £5? I said, well, the £7 is going to be bloody heavy. I mean, it's going to break concrete quick, but it's going to take a lot of swinging. £3 is probably not going to break up concrete too well. Be easy to use. So I'd go with £5. And that's what he went with, and he seems perfectly happy with his choice. And randomly, it turns out I know his daughter as well. Yes, it's amazing how small of a world it can be sometimes. And yes, all the part numbers for a lot of the decorating stuff are coming back to me as well from my time working at the paintbrush factory. So yeah, I know paintbrushes and things like that as well. So I've got a decent base of knowledge, so I can help customers or figure out what they actually want when they don't know what they want. Yeah, so that's going quite well, I think, at the moment. Yeah, it's a Karen vid. You either laugh or you just sit there going, "What the?" The one who hired a pet sitter to come in 3 times a day to look after the dog, but they didn't have a dog. They'd gone on holiday or vacation and left their 7-year-old daughter at home and basically hired a pet sitter to be the babysitter. Yeah, they got jailed. But yeah, it's just the fact that some people's minds will even work that way. Like, to think that's okay. To think that the pet sitter that's going in there to feed and walk your dog is going to go, oh, it's not a dog, it's a child. Oh, okay. No, they're not. They're just going to call their boss straight away, who is then going to call the police and Child Protective Services straight away. And yeah, you're going to get a phone call on your holiday. Yeah, you kind of laugh and you're like, really? How dumb are these people? What the heck were they thinking? There has to be some thought gone into it, but yes, how did you get that? I don't know. Karen's got a Karen, I suppose. I like the whole thing about, well, if you need to have the vaccine to keep your job or whatever, what you can do is you can get it, and then if you put a potato on your arm, it will suck all the poisons out. What? You might get an infection. Yeah, child is not a dog. No. Dogs are far nicer. Oh, speaking of which, when we're at the LFS today, not dogs, but rabbits. Oh, they had some gorgeous rabbits in. It was very difficult. They had some black velvet otter rexes. So basically, the super short haired ones, black on the top, they got like a creamy, orangey, yellowy belly on them and underside. They were gorgeous. And there was one that's a lop like latte with the same coloration, not a dwarf, just the standard lop, that was part lion head. So she had like a big goatee beard and mutton chops and like massive, basically like this coming out over her ears, and and there were some black Flemish giant lops. They were huge. They would dwarf most dogs, I think. They weren't full grown. They were chunky rabbits. Good aim, Sir Sturlson, Marco, Sterlo, whichever one you prefer. Yes, Lord of Pleco. Yeah, as I said, with the new births and the sales, we're down now to 1,370 bristle noses. Say it fast and it doesn't sound such a high number. Yeah. Actually, that was one of the other things. If you saw the freshwater video from Swallow Aquatics in that playlist, I think it's the first video in the playlist, that big display tank they had down by the desk, the back blew out of it the other day. So yeah, so, and that's, I don't know how big that is. It's 10 by 6 by 4 feet, something like that, probably bigger than 10 foot long, maybe 12 by 6 by 4, and the back blew out of it. So all the fish in there had to be found homes tout suite. And I did ask. Unfortunately, I can't go have a look at the sump to see the full-grown red-tailed catfish. Because apparently it's underground as well. It's not just behind the rack; it's actually under the floor. So yeah, I can't go and have a look at that, health and safety reasons. Um, I'll keep digging because I would like to get down there and take some pictures because a full-grown 6-foot red tail in there is, yeah, exactly, Debbie. There were a lot of lovely fishes in there. There were pacus and jaguars or dovies, massive loach thingy. I can't remember what the flavour was, but absolutely gorgeous fish. Bichers, bishiers, bikiers, bitches, dino fish. Let's, Brian, my darling, how are you? Yeah, should we just call them polypterus because everyone can say that and get it right? Should we just forget about the B word as a name and just call them polypterus? Because there's everyone can say that. Even if you say polypterus, it's closer than any of the 8,000 different varieties of BICHIR that I've heard. Yeah, I'll say it's. I mean, I think it would make a good video. I doubt there's any light down there, so I'd have to take a flashlight torch, not flashlight. I know what you people are like. Yes, I will say that every time because I know one of these times I'll get it wrong and I'll accidentally say flashlight in a video, and someone will pick me up on it. Or I might say it on purpose. You know what I'm like. But yeah, I'll say a massive store like that, I think it would be interesting and make a good video to look at their filtration. Because we've all seen the Petco, PetSmart, Pets at Home, the general fish store. Basically, there's a tank at the bottom, which is a sump for that section of the racking. That's generally how it is, and we've all seen those. But something that's got, like however many hundred tanks on the same system, to see the sump. When the sump is big enough to be home to a full-grown red-tailed catfish, it's it's a big sump. Yes, yeah, forgot about that. So yes, hope you're still on the mend, Debbie, and gradually getting better day by day. Yeah, so I do think that will be an impressive one to look at. Although Pleco wise, I might have to see if I can find somewhere else to shift a few onto because I are running out of tanks. Oh no, bad day again, docks again tomorrow. Well, get well hugs, Debbie, and positive vibes coming your way. Yeah, we've all had our illnesses and injuries and stuff, and it always sucks. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I've had a few injuries that are kind of amusing, but that's just me. When you break your nose and you find it kind of funny rather than painful or debilitating or something like that, because it means you can now do that because it's not attached anymore. Oh, you back out showing off again, are you? Hey, are you doing your thing? Look at me, look at me. Yes, time of the month has passed. You can stop trying to fight each other now. But yeah, that was the other thing that did surprise me, is that the bristlenoses spawned on the hottest day of the year. The hottest day on record in the UK. I had fish spawning. So yeah, I'm not sure how that works. Well, I didn't see that Fred was in the cave till Wednesday. That's because I'd left all the lights off Monday and Tuesday just to try and keep the temps down a little bit. When I turned the lights on Wednesday, there's Fred sat there waggling away. I was like, oh, great. And then, yeah, when I looked Friday, oh, they're swimming around. We better get them out of there then. Yeah, hence, bristly noses in there as well now. No. Yeah. We all hope Debbie gets better soon. Yeah, always sucks. I say always, mostly. Yeah. As I say, there's weirdos like me and Sean that find getting electrocuted funny. Yeah. When we can take the mickey out of each other for doing dumb things, like sitting on live mains wires. Yeah, we've all done it. Well, us accident-prone types have done it. As I say, I'm not clumsy. I'm just accident-prone. I just don't necessarily look at what I'm about to do and think, if this goes wrong, will it hurt? I just do it and then go, oh, bugger, that hurt. Mental note, try not to do that again. Don't do that again. Try not to do that again. Because I know full well I probably will in a few years. That said, touch wood. Oh, actually, no, the door frame is actually made of wood. Oh, touch wood. I haven't actually managed to injure myself for a while. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. Well, there's been some nasty flying bug insecty thing around that's been chewing the bottom of my legs up, but yeah, well, it's like it's chewing me up. It's not chewing anyone else up. And it's not like another couple of scars on my legs are going to show anyway. Should I have a look at some fishies? Would people like that? Have a look around a few tankies? I think you probably would, rather than looking at this ugly mug puffing away on another ciggy. Ooh. So, a rather algified but overstocked Shelly body tank. Actually, let's just go a bit further that way. Get rid of some of the glares. You see some of the fry down the back. Lots of little shelly dwellies in there, and not so little. And plenty of algae on the glass, because they eat any snail that gets in there. Oh, I don't know why this camera cable keeps getting wrapped up around itself. Probably can't see too well, but there is a bunch of bristly noses in there. That's the one that decided to leak all over the floor, as you can see. Big wet patch. And we have snails, and the little linears, baby linears in there. And we have baby super red bristly noses and a chonky baby super red bristlenose. Yeah, spot the one that escaped from another spawn. And we have more super red bristlenoses. Common bristlenoses. Super reds in the middle. Commons in there, and that one. No, not that one. That one. Get your aim right, Sharpe. And you can just about perhaps see a couple of them. That's where the Pelvicochromis subocellatus fry are. It's still got a few of those in their tank, but trying to catch all of them was a bit tricky. And as I've found with cribs in the past, yeah, I'm saying there's another 150 bristlenoses in that breeder box, another 150 in the breeder box in that tank. There's another spawn in the cave in there. Yeah, and the first lot of fry of the Limia are now, the females are looking pregnant. So we're going to get overrun with Limia, which is a good thing because they're endangered. If not endangered, they're at risk. So, you know, and there's another 30 of them in the tank with the snails. So I started out buying 3. I lost 1. Then I bought little Boise, the male, who I lost. So I bought 4, 2 of which bit the bullet. And now I've got around 50. That's a lot, yeah. It is a lot. It's when you go into a mahoosive LFS and the guy behind the counter jokingly asks you how many bristlenoses you got at the moment, and you tell them, and then their jaw hits the floor. They're like, what? Really? Yeah. Why do you think I'm selling them? But how many pairs have you got? 2. What? But apparently now I am the senior bristlenose breeder. So there we go. He basically said to me he'll take 100 every fortnight. So result. Just need to get him to take 150 super reds a month. And then the shrimp and the Limia and the snails and the Pelvicochromis and the shellies, and that should work out. I mean, if I could guarantee that kind of thing, then that'd be looking at £700 a month on fish sales to a store. Which is why I only work part-time. Yes, Debbie, it's a win. When you consider 5 years ago, well, even, yeah, we're not quite, are we at 4 years yet? No, we're not quite at 4 years. So yeah, because I got a first tank in August 2018. Is it 2018 or 2019? 2018, yeah. So yeah, other than having a goldfish as a kid, which, you know, back then goldfish had a lifespan of 2 weeks. Yeah, I've not kept fish before in my life. It shows it's not that difficult. Got 3 baby super rares about a year ago. All 3 are female. At this point, I didn't have a male. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'll say it's great if you got a way of selling. I will say selling, because exactly as Debbie says, if you've got no one to sell to, it's all fine and dandy getting store credit or as one of the stores near me does livestock credit. So if you take in, let's say, 30 bristle noses, you get £30 of livestock credit at whatever they're selling them at. I know me, so I get a bit of a deal. But yeah, when you're full and you've got no more space for fishies or shrimpies, because I mean, let's face it, if I took 100 bristle noses into that shop, basically all I would do is take £100 worth of cherry shrimp, stick them in one of my tanks, and then take them to the one that literally basically swapping bristle noses with cherry shrimp, and then just take them back to the one I can sell the cherry shrimp. Evening, Dan. Glad he had some sense and didn't come into the hot store. I went into Swallow today, so I weren't in there long. I was in there as a supplier. Let's put it that way. But yes, I know it's a law thing because we're in different councils. But yeah, if you guys paid, I would be bringing you guys bristly noses. Lots of people in the shop. Yeah, it's the start of the school holidays, Dan. That's what's happening. Start the school holidays, so get these things out of the way. But yeah, you don't want to be in a crowded fish shop on a hot day. They're great places to be in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold outside. But yeah. Oh, pardon me, it's been coming out both ends today. But as I said, Dan, if you guys need any bristle noses, just give me a shout. Like if you sold out and like there's not any coming in on the next order and you kind of need some, just give us a holler. Did meet a famous darts player. Ooh, which darts player? Not Eric Bristow. That's about the only one I know, or Phil Taylor. Yeah, let's say, yeah. Even if I haven't got many standards, I'll probably have some super reds. He's dead. I already met him. Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean Darren Webster. Yeah, I'm not too up on my dartists. Yeah, I know Bristow's dead. That doesn't mean you can't meet him still. When I was a kid, I had an Eric Bristow dartboard. Quite why it was any different to any other dartboard, I don't know, but the box had a picture of Eric Bristow on it. That's Webster's. He's a Norwichoid, a Norwegian. What is the term for someone who comes from Norwich, other than a farmer? Or 12-toed? Yeah, inbred. Yes. That is one of the problems with where I work now, is because we do get the tradies come in and they tend to be more heavily accented than most of the people. And that means that the Norfolk starts coming out in me now because I've been here long enough. But yeah, yes, it was. So as I was just saying, Shepherd brought up in Lynn. Yeah. King's Lynn, yeah. Beirut on Sea, basically, isn't it? Yeah, it's like Thetford on the coast. Sorry, if you're not local, then you won't get that, but it'll always be my hometown. Well, I say the thing is, I was born and spent the first part of my life in Bishop Stortford, but Attleborough is my hometown now. I've been here most of my life, so so I'm now considered local, even though I don't sound it overly. To people outside of Norfolk, I sound Norfolk. To people from Norfolk, I sound like an outsider. So the accents, I'm holding it off quite well. Been out of our 4 years and in 27. Well, then, yeah. You're familiar with one-way systems then. No, that's all right. It was just a hair. Been here an hour while I get ready for the Triple Crown. Now I've got to go. Love you. Wish you luck. Never thought Kentucky was a vacation. Well, have a wonderful time, Lady Diane. I'm sure you will. I figured that was probably where most people were today, rather than here at the Triple Crown. They're going to visit KY. Yeah, they're going to that famous place that makes chicken and jelly. Both of my sisters, Lynn has Leicester at Roadworks. Yeah, Attleborough is always being dug up. There was no storage facility full of fertilizers. No. Well, there probably is actually in Kings Lynn, but it would just be a big pile of cow muck or pig muck. But yeah, have a wonderful time, my lady, and say hello to peeps for me. And hello, Sherry, proper Leicester lass. Or as I've heard it called, Leicestershire. I even heard it a Gloucestershire the other day. I'm like, no, it's Gloucestershire. You don't have to pronounce all the letters in it. You pronounce the letters that aren't in it, but not the ones that are in it. I'll have to go see if the Zoas added to the main tank. Marine tank have opened up yet? Ah, cool. Well, have fun, Dan. And hopefully they have, and hopefully they grow and grow and grow, and you can frag them and sell them. Wow, I just used a marine term. Visiting horsey friends too. So, ooh, yum, 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 yum. You're visiting the glue factory. That or the Findus factory. Oh dear. Yes. Yeah. So enjoy your saltiness. But as I said before, I'm salty enough. I don't need a salt tank. I'm hell doing the water changes start of this week. I think I turned half my tanks into marine, or at least brackish. The way I was dripping into them. Good job. It's hard water, and I've got hard water fish. So a little bit of salt won't hurt. Yeah. Oh, we've got a Shelley squabble going on. No, this is my piece of lava rock. No, it's not. It's my piece of lava rock. We just square up and squabble about a bit and then get back to business. But yeah, so to anyone lurkifying who is on their way to the Triple Crown in Kentucky, have fun, stay safe, and try not to make a fool out of yourself. Oh, Sherry's got third tank, a minnow tank. Ooh, white cloud minnows. Yes, I love my white clouds. They're very fun. They are basically a dither fish for me, though. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought, Mark. But what a frag? What the heck's a frag? To me, frag is short for fragmentation round. Yeah, it's well. Why can't these people speak English? I know that's the way they Mills bombs. No, we've moved on, Mark. We're not on Mills bombs now. We do have normal hand grenades. Actually, I think the UK or the English Army's grenade is the one with the biggest boom there is. It certainly weighs more than most of the others. Sorry, I'm just reminds me of Fraggle Rock. Oh, don't get me started on that theme tune. No, we don't need that. We don't need to be thinking about is it Gobo, Moki, Boober, and Red, along with the Doozers and the trash pile that sang, and yeah, was it? Yeah, it was the rubbish pile that used to sing, weren't it? Yeah, that was a weird show. Yes. And Wash's character in Firefly, played by Alan Tudyk, reminds me. This is going to sound weird, but what anyone who's seen both and knows will get it instantly. Reminds me of Boober from Fraggle Rock, the one that wore the Hawaiian shirt and had the crazy hair. That's Wash. I don't know whether the ideas were taken or there was inspiration, but it did have a good theme song, Sherry, but it's stuck in your head and you couldn't get rid of it. Any new ghosty videos coming out this week? I don't know, Sky. What have I got recorded? Oh, what we got? Designed by the DoD to be lightweight. Yeah, exactly. So it weighs 3 times as much as it needs to be. DoD, Department of Defense. What have we got? We got D from Airfield, which isn't the greatest video because it's an airfield and it was a fairly windy day. And it's a World War II airfield that got decommissioned in 1948, so there's not really anything to see. There's a couple from Hingham Church, which isn't haunted. What else have I got? Besthorpe Church, also not haunted. Although possibly next weekend, Mary and I might be visiting Oxborough Church, which may be haunted, may not. But it ties back into Tivitshire St Mary Church because nearby Oxborough Hall, and there's a chapel at Oxborough Church called Beddingfield Church, because the Beddingfield family owned Oxborough Hall. The Beddingfield family, so the area was originally known as Beddingfield, and the vicar from the 1660s, John Boys, whose will I transcribed into modern English, left his lands in Beddingfield to one of his sons. So we're looking to see if there's a tie-in, if we can find said son. Just gradually going down following all the leads that we can find on the John and Helen Boys. I know it sounds a bit weird, but yeah, so this Monday's video is either going to be a shrimp tub update or a how to deal with tanks in the heat and just dealing with the heat video. Then, so Friday I'm working, but I should be able to get something up in the evening after work. think we might get Hingham Church done because there's 2 videos from there. And it's a big church. And the outside of it is impressive, but the inside is a couple of things that there's certainly one thing on the interior that will surprise plenty of my American viewers. There is a bust of a certain former American president whose family came from the Hingham area, which is like 5 miles that way. Like here in History Part 2. Well, thank you. I literally just go online and then write a bunch of stuff down that I found about the place, stick it in a kind of order, and then waffle about it a bit. That's pretty much all I do. Mark gifting more memberships. Oh dear, I'm going to have more members than subscribers at this rate. But thank you very much. I'm definitely not going to complain. And I say to the new members, and don't forget you are now a Zach friend, although the picture's not there because I moved it. And you have access to the awesome emojis that I made, or I ripped off of clip art. I've not actually done any members only streams or videos yet because and Fish Tank Dad as well, if they're here. I'm not sure whether it gives it to people in chat or people who have been subscribed for longer or what. I think it goes to like the oldest subscribers or something. And I think now I'm pretty much all fishy people and paranormal people. I think all the model people are pretty much buggered off. And Austin just likes being here. Why, thank you very much. I like having you here. I like having all of you here because you're all amusing and fun to be around. Oh, bless. Well, you're always welcome, Debbie, even if, as I say, I won't say I'm not in it for the money. Because, hey, let's be honest, I am. But I don't expect people to shell out, especially these days with the way things are and the cost of living increases and all that kind of stuff. We're all having to tighten the purse strings, as it were. So yeah, I'm grateful for anything. That's not, please give me a super chat. It's just literally I'm grateful for whatever anyone might like to do, even if it's just watching a video and skipping the ads after 5 seconds. It does help. Well, good news. We finally hit 1,700 subs this week. It's been on 1690 something for months. It like goes up 2, then goes down 3, and then goes up 3 and goes down 2, and it's finally hit the 1,700. So hopefully all the people I've upset over the years have now beggared off and things are on the rise again. But yeah, as I say, what I make from YouTube does go directly into generally paying the household bills. I mean, originally when I started, I had lots of money. And what I was getting from YouTube was buying fishy stuff. It was buying fish and tanks and things like that. I think quite a chunk of this rack that I've got here, I think the actual rack itself and one of the tanks was paid for with YouTube money. maybe 2 of the tanks. Thank you very much, Sky. Yep, good news. So now with money being a bit tighter, it all just goes into the bank account and gets used to pay bills generally. The money I make from selling fish generally buys food. So, yeah. Obviously, once I start getting an income coming back in, then should be an allow gift under Mark's gifted membership post. Click on it and tap the toggle to allow it. There we go. And nobody's done any of the emojis. There you go. Well done, Debbie, you found it. So Debbie is now a Zach friend. And as we've got lots and lots of Zach friends in here, we have to get the Zach picture in it now, don't we, really? Easy come, easy go. Well, yeah, it can be. You can't take it with you, but yeah, Zachy boy, the floof monster. Doing what he should be doing and keeping an eye on everything. Oh, yes, well done, Debbie. I'm the same. Buttons and clicking things, and yeah, I don't know how they work. It's the reason why I don't do Streamlabs or OBS, StreamYard or OBS or anything like that. I ain't got a bloody clue. It's about all I can manage to set up a stream on YouTube. So, you know, we'll leave the posh stuff to other people. I'm not a flashy graphics and editing kind of channel anyway, so it kind of suits. If I was doing all the cool flashy editing and adding music and graphics and things, then yeah, I probably would use StreamYard or something. But as I'm a one and done, and Sherry's found it as well. Well done, Sherry. As I'm literally a open camera, open the lens cap cover thingy, hit record, start waffling, wave the camera about a bit, then finish what I've got to talk about, say my goodbyes, maybe turn the camera around and point it at me. Which, if you're not trying to do that, that's really tricky. You'd think it was quite easy. You just point a camera at yourself. But when the camera's there and the screen's there, you look at the screen because that's what you can see the picture on. But the camera's off to the side, so you end up being half out of shot or over. Yeah, and it's all back to front, so it can get tricky trying to get yourself actually in the middle of the shot. Easier with the GoPro, but with the actual camcorder, not the easiest thing to do. But yeah, then it's just do that and then click stop, and close it up. Take out the memory card, stick it in the pooter, click, drag, job done. And then open YouTube, upload that, and follow the on-screen instructions. There we go. Thank you very much, Fish Tank Dad. Finding all the emojis. The shrimpy, the two fishies, the ghosty, the snaily, and the farty man. Can't get anything uploaded on mine. I'm going to have to wait till daughter comes down the end of next month. Ah, yes. The youth, they figure these things out fairly easily. Yeah, every time there's an update to YouTube where they change things around, I'm lost again. Sherry spoke on a video today and it felt weird. It does at first. It's even better, right? When you're filming a video out in your back garden and your neighbours are in their back garden and they hear you talking to yourself. Yeah, thankfully I've known my neighbours a long time and they know that I do YouTube and I'm just recording a video. do get some strange looks sometimes when I'm out videoing at like a church or somewhere like that, somewhere out in public. Because I think people don't think that you're going to talk on the video. But, yeah. So I'm wandering around, waffling away. Like the gifted membership idea, I can support awesome content and the fine people who watch. Oh, I wouldn't say it was awesome content. It's passable, perhaps at the best. You got caught doing that today. Yeah, I say it's one of those things. Although I think people more and more are realizing that if someone's waving a camera around these days, they're not just like taking a home video for themselves. I think more and more people are realizing that, oh, they're filming something for YouTube or whatever kind of platform they're using. So yes, it's not as bad as it was. And there's a few of my earlier fish store tours where people would purposefully get in front of the camera or speak really loudly behind you or in front of you just to try and mess the video up because they didn't think you should be videoing there. Despite he's not here anymore, Dan, but Mr. Hibbard. But as he will attest, if I'm going to film a video in a fish shop, I ask the owner, manager, or whatever first if it's okay to do so, and if there's anything they don't want me to put in the video. Usually, not a problem. The only place that has said no was Pets at Home, and that's understandable because they do have public liability kind of things to worry about, being a chain store, and obviously they have. No, they can't guarantee that I'm not going to go in and go, look at this. Oh my God, I can't believe they're keeping the fish in these conditions. Oh, look at these. Oh. No, I'm going to be honest and say what I see. Did not have a phone. I was just talking to someone they couldn't see. Yes, I've had that one as well before. That's always a good one as well. And someone goes, "Who are you talking to?" And you go, "Oh, the ghost." What? Oh yeah, this place is haunted. Didn't you know? And you just see their face go white as they run off. Well, it's like Alison, who I don't think is here at the moment, commented on Friday's video about the unexpected encounter. So I don't know how you can be so calm about these things. I'd have done a Usain Bolt out of there. I'm used to it. That's the thing. I'm kind of used to encountering weirdness, so it doesn't really bother me anymore. It never really did to start with, but you know. Oh yeah, the old Bluetooth earphones. Yeah, I remember when they first came out, and they were like the tiny little thing there, and people would have their phone in their pocket, but they'd be having a phone conversation with someone. But if you didn't see the little thing on their ear, they're just wandering around talking to themselves. Yeah, the amount of times I had that with lorry drivers, and I got rather confused. They were saying things, I'm thinking, this doesn't apply to what I'm trying to do here, loading a lorry. What? Oh, you're on. And what happened to just holding your phone to your ear and talking into it? Why do people now have to hold their phone out here so everyone can hear the whole conversation? Whole life. Looks like people are having full conversation. Yeah, it does. I mean, I do have full conversations with myself. I mean, anyone who can't see this screen right now, who might happen to be around, now if there's someone out back perhaps listening in or whatever, Yeah, they're going to think I'm a complete weirdo. Well, I mean, I am, but you know, I do try not to talk to myself. Usually, it does happen though. Oh no, I do it aloud. I swear at myself regularly. It's not a sign you're going mad. It's just a sign that that's the most intelligent conversation you're going to get is with yourself. It's when you start arguing with yourself, you got a problem. What's that up there? Oh, it's black neon. That's the one that's rather old and is looking a bit ropey. Fair enough. Oh, look at that Pleco poop. It must be about a foot long. Jeez. Bertie must have had a good clear out. Yeah, we all have silent conversations with ourselves. I talk to myself all the time, still waiting for an intelligent reply. Yeah, the problem is, it's when you're in a room on your own and you're talking to yourself out loud and you hear a reply. Yeah, that's when you. Oh, I'm not on my own. Hello? On a similar vein, I did have to stop myself yesterday at work. Because Creep by Radiohead came on the radio, so obviously I had to sing along with it because it's pretty much my theme tune. Problem is, I sing the album version because that's the version I know, and the lyrics are slightly different and contain a few f bombs. So yeah, I had to kind of stop myself. Damn, someone heard me. Yeah, yeah. That's it. But as I said, generally, I mean, if I'm at home, my neighbours know I do YouTube, so it doesn't bother them that I talk to myself because they know what's happening if they hear it. If I'm filming something in the garden, they're in the garden, they'll keep quiet until I come back indoors again. I like weird, we can be friends. Yes. I think generally most people who join these streams and hang around for a prolonged period of time, yeah, I think we're all generally a bit weird. Well, as long as you don't take that as an offence, because if someone started calling me normal, I probably would take that as an offence. So, no, I'm not normal. I see you're normal, and I raise you weird. So if someone starts thinking I'm normal, I'm going to act even weirder. Is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah. I mean, there are certain things that still feel a bit weird saying. But when I go somewhere haunted, and especially if I've got the camera out, so I try to get it out of the way before I get the camera out, which is, hello, I'm John. I'm here today. I mean no harm, no disrespect. I'm not afraid of you. I know you're here. I come in love, light, and peace and harmony. I mean, that sounds weird anyway. And you hope nobody unintended hears it. It does sound strange. But yeah, it's just introducing yourself and letting them know that you're there and that you know they're there and that you're not going to start causing a squit. Actually, that is one video I do have uploaded. Or do have recorded that I've yet to upload, and I'm not sure what to title it because it's basically me discussing some how I feel a paranormal investigation should be done or how you should deal with something paranormal. And I don't want to title it with like, this is what you should do, or how to act around, or something like that. So I'll work out a sensible title. Perhaps my thoughts on paranormal investigations. It's basically just like 10 minutes of shrimp zooming around a tank, me waffling about some, just don't be a douche. If you're the kind of person who's going to fill your pants the first time something makes a noise, don't do it. So I did think a good one to do would be a species profile on clown plecos, because it would be probably the only species profile video that I'd ever do where the fish isn't actually in the video. And that would be the perfect one. Go to a closed down mental health unit. I would love to. I've been to some open ones in my time. Is it me or is it getting dark in here? Yeah, I'm going to put the light on, because otherwise I'm going to disappear into darkness. I know that's probably a good thing, but hey, YouTube likes well-lit videos. Yeah, unfortunately, most of the ones around here that have been closed down have been either demolished or turned into flats. And there is an amusing story about one of them. One of them which got turned into luxury apartments. I mean, it's a gorgeous building, don't get me wrong, absolutely beautiful building. It's Stobardov, somewhere like that. And it got made into luxury apartments that sold for lots and lots of money. And then less than a year later, most of them back up for sale again for a lot less than people paid for them. Yeah, we know why that happened, don't we? Yes. They moved into a haunted mental asylum. Yes. And they didn't like it. Again, that's the kind of thing, I'd probably be fine living there. But oh, hello. Yeah, I know you're here. Don't worry, I'm nuts as well. Yes, really. Really, Sherry? Yes. I go some TV show, did 2 shows in the next town over. Ah, cool. But yeah, so it would be a video on clown plecos, you know, the species profile will go through all the guff about the species or what have you. But there wouldn't be any footage of clown plecos in it. Which would be perfect, because you never bloody see them anyway. We've got some mine. You're now in a tank. I can't see very well. You're fine, David. I've got 3 of them in a 34-litre fluval flex. The one that you see in the ghost videos, where where I'm talking about something like the ghost stories or something, not somewhere I've actually been. And as I say in the video I've got recorded about the investigations and stuff, the reason I film that tank is because it's easy to set the camera up in front of, and I can sit on the stairs. It's just a comfort thing. But yeah, that's a 34-litre flex. There are a trio of clown plex in there, and you never see them. They're in there. I know they're in there. I have seen all 3 of them at the same time. And I did see one of them this morning, but yeah, I just spend all their time hidden. Shawnee Sean, Shelly Sean. There must be a time delay going on, or he was in the middle of doing something when his Shelly sensors went off. It was like the aerials go ping. Someone's talking about shell dwellers. I've got to finish doing this first. I've got to finish doing this before I can go. Yeah. It's all right, Sean. They're doing great. They're just doing what Shelleys do, reproducing at an alarming rate and arguing over pieces of sand and bits of lava rock. Yeah, like Shelleys do. Yeah, he's on the phone. Yeah, they're doing great. I do have to scrape the algae off the glass, but that's because they kill all the snails that get in there. Oh well. Yeah, and I can't feed them. I just literally fed them before I started the stream. Oh no! I forgot. I'm out of backy in my tin. Can we scrape together enough for one last smoke? No. Oh well. We'll leave it. I'm sure I can manage another 13 minutes without a cigarette. But yeah, keep. Yeah, well, I mean, it depends how close you get the camera to them. But yeah, most the Similis and the Maltese, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches at most. Yeah, I mean, they're not big, but I mean, they're not teeny tiny little nano fish either. And they've got some pretty vicious teeth on them. Other than like live bearers trying to like, cheers, Sean. 2 ciggies and a monster. Yeah, that'll cover it. Yeah, if you stick your hand in with live bearers, they'll like try to pull their hair off your arm because they think it's algae. Yeah, that's not biting you, but yeah, Shelleys will bite. They do have teeth. It's more funny than anything because it doesn't actually draw blood. Their teeth aren't that big, but yeah, they will get aggressive and go. Especially if they got eggs or fry in their shells, then they will give you a good nip. You know, I got bitten by a polypterus, so Shelley isn't a problem. And yes, that is the one thing we're taking from this stream. We're now going to refer to them as polypterus, not the B word that no one can pronounce. Yeah. They got basically little vampire teeth. They got 2 little fangs in the top and the bottom. They are always entertaining to watch, though. And gold ocellatus will draw blood. Yeah, they are a larger species. I mean, some of the shell dwellers do get quite big, don't they, Sean? I say quite big. I mean, bigger than the Maltese and the Similis that we generally find. But yeah, none of them get big, or do they? Is there 1 or 2 species that do get? I think there is at least 1 species that gets like electric blue acara size. And quite what shells they live in, I'd like to see. Because whoever the hell's been throwing conch shells into Lake Tanganyika, I'd like to know. That's just Kenny's tiny. Now, it's one of those things where if you've got a decent camera and you basically get right up to the glass and they come up to the glass, then they will look quite sizable. I should make it without a dory unless someone mentions it. I would say there's not really any such thing as a beginner fish. And if you live in a hard water area, shellies are one of the easiest things to keep. They really are. They don't produce much waste. They're easy to feed. They look after themselves. They breed copiously. They're colony breeders, so they don't attack each other's fry. And I've got 5 or 6 generations in there. And literally all I do is feed them once or twice a day. Change a bucket worth of water every week. Scrape the algae off the glass every once in a while. That's it. Clean the filter out every couple of weeks because, as I say, they don't produce a huge amount of waste. Not like these buggers. Not like the bristle noses that plug up all the filters in 3 days. Still don't know how to do a water change on a tropical tank. Have I done a video on how to do water changes? I think I have. But it's simple enough. What you do is you grab your bucket, preferably without a sopping wet towel. Grab your bucket and your jug. Tape around the handle so that the reeds don't dig into your fingers. Use the jug, take the water out of the tank into the bucket. Either pour it down the sink. Oh, there's a bristle nose in there. Oh well. That'd be alright for a bit. Collect the rest of the biggest, get the 6.5 inches. I feel I'll stay fairly small. Cool. Yeah, literally take out the water you want to take out. Either pour it down the sink or pour it on the garden. If you're going to clean out your filter, once you've got the water in the bucket, take your filter sponges out, go swish, 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 swish in the bucket, put your filter sponges back. Then go to the tap. If you've got separate taps, then both. If you've just got a mixer tap, just adjust it on the one. Fill your bucket, sticking your hand in, going, yeah, that's about the right temperature. Then put your dechlorinator in. So then you pick your bucket of water up out the sink, or if you can only manage to lift half a bucket at a time, just do half a bucket or whatever. And you put it in the tank. It's that simple. It really is that easy. Just the most important thing is, I say, the temperatures and the dechlorinator. They're the only 2 things. Couple of degrees either way on the temp don't really make a difference, because if you're adding it with, like I do, a 2-litre jug, it gets a chance to disperse into the water column quick enough that you don't create a hot spot, as it were. And with the flewable flexes, I literally just pour it down the back anyway, so it goes into the pump compartment. But yeah, it's literally that simple. Just use tap. Don't need to add crushed coral. Yeah, I don't either. And literally the reason I do the water changes on the shellies is to keep the hardness up. I think I have done a video. I think I did a video of the water change in that tank one week. It was a long while ago though, so yeah. Yeah, flexes are awesome tanks for shellies. The smaller species is, well, they're just awesome tanks anyway. So I'll breed bristle noses in one. Yeah, it's, you can do them planted, you can do them bare. They look good. They work. The stuff doesn't break down quickly. You thought you needed buckets of water with a heater. Yeah, as Debbie says, you've got 10-litre water carriers and pump brine siphon. Yep, I've got. For the smaller tanks, if I want to do a gravel vacuum siphony job, I've got one of the Denaway nano siphons. You just stick that end in the tank, pump the doofer, stick that end in the bucket. It even clips onto the side of the bucket or whatever you're using. And then for the big tank, mainly, because I don't use that on a smaller tank because it'll fill a 3-gallon or 15-litre bucket in about a minute. If you put that end in the bucket, that end in the tank, either just give that a couple of squeezes, or if that's not working, stick your thumb over the end of, squeeze it, stick your thumb over the end, and let go, and it will go suck all the water out. But yeah, so if I'm not doing anything on the bottom, or if it's the smaller tanks, then yeah, I just use the jug, especially shrimp tanks, because shrimp really like going up gravel backs. And you can guarantee you stick the jug in there, you'll find the shrimp in the tub, in the jug, so you can then pour it back. Yeah, there's no shrimp in that one. You're super worried about temp, so let it sit overnight to get the room temperature. Yeah, unfortunately, generally our room temperature is lower than the tank temperature. But yeah, we've got mixer taps and stuff, so you can, yeah, close enough. But yeah, the temperatures don't have to be hugely accurate, especially if you're doing smaller water changes. If you're doing a big sort of like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% water change, then yes, you do have to be careful with the temperatures. But as long as you're stick your hand in, yeah, it's fairly close, and you're doing a smaller water change, it's not really a problem. No, temperatures fluctuate anyway, so yeah. Heck, my outdoor shrimp tub managed to survive 42 degrees this week, so you know, which is 108 in American. And that happened over the course of like 2 days. It jumped up that quick, and then so yeah, Tuesday was 42, Thursday was 21. So the temperature halved in 2 days. Used to put a kettle of hot in the mix, don't bother anymore. The fish don't seem to mind. Yeah, so I just use both hot and cold tap to get it to, yeah, it's about right. And it just fills the bucket up quicker as well using both taps. And I just stick a bit of safe in there. Yeah, exactly. 10 to 20% isn't a big deal as long as it's somewhat close. It's just like it's rained. Yeah, just like it's rained upstream and it's coming down and cooling the water off a bit. So yeah, don't worry about doing water changes there. They're not a complicated thing. Some people do make them seem that way. I can understand for a marine tank it might be a bit trickier. But yeah, Corys, yes. And some fish, if you give them a cooler water change, it will, yeah, you'll get spawning happening. Which is why the Plecos generally get a warm water change. So they don't spawn. Yeah, Corys love a cold water change. That'll get them up and at it. Is that rain? No, it's just the wind getting up again. Yeah. Yeah, as I say, they're not hard. Anything fishy, if I can do it, anyone can, because it's people do like to overcomplicate things, add extra things to the equation. It's like, oh, you have to do your water test before you do your water change. So no, you get to know your tanks. You get to know roughly how much is enough to keep the numbers where you want them. And as I said with the Shelleys, I don't do the water change for the nitrates in the water because the sand in there is deep enough that there's actually a anaerobic layer. So there's very, very little nitrate in the tank. Hence why there's so little algae in there. And it takes, the algae that's on that glass takes a couple of months to build up and it gets direct sunlight. Yeah, I'm literally just replacing the minerals that the Shelleys take out of the water is what I'm doing. And any other things that we don't necessarily test for that might start building up. And yes, That's about it. Used to use buffers, but not now. Yeah, so it's one of those things where you can do it high tech and use electric pumps and heaters and age the water and all these kind of things. But as you said, Sherry, if you're keeping basic fish, or beginner fish, as you said, as you call them, then having 3 cold water tanks. Yes, so just literally, if it's cold water tanks, just fill your bucket up, add some dechlorinator to it, and leave it to stand. You can do it the night before, let it get to room temperature. It'll be exactly the same temperature as the tank. Now, literally, the only difference between a cold water and a tropical tank is a heater. That is the only difference, is the temperature. That's it. Hello, Rebecca. Freshwater ichthyology. Thinking it was Monday. Oh, poor you. Oh dear. I hope you're well. You managed to turn up just as we're about to finish. Yeah. If you go tropical, highly recommend Shell Dwellers, but a bit biased. Yes. Well, yeah, true, Mark. It is Monday for Mark. And as the lights are telling me, it is that time again, I'm afraid. So thank you to everyone for turning up. Thank you, Mark, for gifting out the memberships. Much appreciated. Yeah, Sean, I think Sean's got several videos on Shelley's, but I've also done a video on the Neolamprologus similis, which are my Shelley's. The multi-fasciatus that you'll find in most fish stores are the same. But yes, thank you everyone for showing up, being here, for taking time out of your Sundays to hang about and waffle with a weird old British person in the dark. Have a good week. Stay safe. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Melting sharp, do 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 do. Melting sharp, do 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 do. Melting sharp, do 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 do. Ah.